Arcane is the new hotness in Mage specs for 3.08. This video from StratFu.com will show you the basics of how to play Arcane. The standard Arcane spec is 57-3-11. Your main decision to make is how many points you want in Arcane stability. 4 points will give you full interrupt protection whenever you have concentration aura. For your glyphs, you'll want Arcane Blast, Arcane Power, and Molten Armor. You can use Mage Armor as Arcane, but Molten Armor is more DPS even with the regen loss. For your gear, you still want to stack as much spell power as you can, but haste is now better for you than crit, unlike with Frostfire Bolt specs. War Int and Spirit will give you more mana regen, but they aren't nearly as important as damage stats, so don't go overboard on picking up Spirit gear. You can talent for a full 6% hit if you want, and with 3% from a Shadow Priest, and another 1% if you're Alliance, you only need 8% hit. Each Arcane Blast gives you a debuff that stacks, and makes the next spell do more damage, but also, if it's Arcane Blast again, cost more mana. For your spell rotation, cast Arcane Blast 3 times, and then use Arcane Barrage to clear the Arcane Blast debuff. If you get a Missile Barrage proc after an Arcane Barrage, cast Arcane Missiles immediately. If instead you get one after an Arcane Blast, stack your debuff stack to 3, then cast Arcane Missiles, and then another Arcane Barrage. Your goal as Arcane is to end a fight with 0 mana. If you're nearing the end of a boss and you have extra mana, you can cast 4 or even 5 Arcane Blasts in a row. But try to plan ahead better next time, since ideally you'd be using those extra Arcane Blasts during Bloodlust and cooldown stacking to get even more damage out of them. Use all your cooldowns during Lust. That's the best way to get the most damage out of them. Outside of that, always use Icy Veins and Arcane Power at the same time. Arcane does incredibly well on very short fights, like you've seen in this video. On longer fights, however, like Sartharian with 3 Drakes up, it's still an excellent spec, and, if played properly, will do more damage than the other Mage specs. Unfortunately, the Arcane Blast debuff is back to being cleansable. Until this is fixed, your healers will want to filter it out of their raid pains. That's about it. Remember to practice and pay attention. It's your fault if you run out of mana, not the spec's fault. Get better at paying attention to the fight length, your mana level, and how long until Evocation and your mana gem are available for use again. I hope this video, while short, has still been helpful. Don't forget to visit our site regularly to see updates on boss strategy information and tips on raiding and raid leading.